Best UFC 2024 Homie Awards with the homies. We got Red Wolf.
What up?
And Red Wolf,
Uh,
what part of UK you in again?
Manchester. Well, Salford specifically, Manchester.
Right.
Basically, that's why I sound like Tom Aspinall, because we're from the same city, same area, same everything. You know what I mean? He lives literally 30 minutes down the road
No,
from me. So,
you guys don't really sound alike though. You guys don't really
you
sound
know,
alike.
a lot of people say we do, but he lives in an area where it's a bit
You
more.
sound exactly alike. You sound
Yeah.
exactly like you.
I get it all the time, bro. You know what I mean? But it's funny to me. That's why I can do the whole hello, John. I
Let me
can do that so
oh
well.
yeah. Let me see. Let me have you say something. I want to know what hella sounds like in the UK. So do me a favor.
Hello.
Say, what's up? I say hella.
Yo, that's hella mad, you know.
Hey,
Like,
I like
Gotta
that.
do that.
I like it. What about for show for show?
oh, for sure,
Oh,
for
there we
sure.
go. Hey, that's official.
See,
All
this is
right,
the thing, like,
I
I
mean,
think I surprised you.
Red Wolf is about as home as you're gonna get.
right.
Yeah. I think it surprises you guys is like, I know the American slang as well. Like, I can speak and type to you guys like without a translator. Do you know what I mean? But you'll need a translator for some of my slang.
Oh,
Trust me on
most
that.
Oh yeah, I
definitely.
would. I bet. My man, my
All
man.
I know is
All right.
like bloody and wanker.
Yeah. They're my favorites.
All
They're
I
my
know is
favorite.
mate.
Mate, you've even started saying mate to me as well, which I love. I love.
And what's the other one? You're a cock. You're a cuck.
It's the other C word. It's
Oh yeah,
Oh, excuse
you're
me?
a cunt. You're a cunt. I mean, all right. I digress.
Who have you been speaking with?
I like to take a step back. All right. So let's finish this off. I know we had some awards. Best submission, best MMA account homies. So why don't we start there? I'll kind of let Red Wolf kick it off. And I had, I wanted to give a shout out to Red Wolf, Vaughn, MMA Fool, um, I am Saturday, Rob.
I think
I want to give Rob
best
a shout out too.
homie, best
best
homie
homie.
MMA, not just best MMA account. Because there's some good ones out there that aren't part of the
Yeah,
homie
within the
group.
chat, in our homie chat, in the homie chat for sure. So yeah, I'll let Red Wolf kind of lead this off for me.
Okay, so yeah. You said like all of those guys are like good guys. We really have a good flow with them. We have a good laugh. The other ones, you've got MMA Alien.
Mhm.
He's always coming up with some cracking memes. You know what I mean? They just hilarious memes.
Some hitters.
Andre Easy, OG of MMA Twitter days. You know what I'm saying? Then you've got the legend. He's not in our chat, but I think we know. Mac Malley. I
Oh
put up
yeah.
in. I love Mac Malley.
How about
I
his
put up in.
dog, Gokhan? He's
Oh,
a
Goku,
legend.
man. For years, man, that Goku account, I swore that was Mac Malley on a burner, right? It's not even him. He has
He
no
doesn't even
idea
know
how
who it is. Yeah,
that
there's no clue.
I'll give
but
a shout out to the another people too, because I do like a live with Danny and I think it's
Harry Punch.
oh yeah, got to give a shout out to Perry Punch as well.
yeah.
I think it's Randy. He always gives me a shout out too, and he's always in the lives with Danny, and she's in Australia as well. Um, I'm
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I'm gonna circle back around to him, and then Delinquent MMA always rolling out really good content.
Yeah. I want to give another shout out to my UK boys. So we've got Against the Fence. I do a lot of work with those boys. A couple of them were doing influencer boxing, crypto boxing not long ago, and they're going to do big things next year. Jordan, Rambling Dad, um, S Dog. I don't know if you heard of S Dog.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's doing big things. So there's so many, on the come up that are just putting out great content. I love following them.
And
And,
Colin Crandall,
and
who
of
I was gonna
course,
give a shout out to, Colin Crandall.
oh, yeah. And of course, the MMA homie himself, MTK. Do you know what I mean? Big
Man,
shout out, man.
who the fuck is MTK? That fool, man. We need to, I don't know what we're gonna do with that motherfucker, dog. Fuck that dude. Oh,
Who the
Eddie
fuck
too.
is that guy?
Yeah, you know what? Shout out to Eddie. Shout out to Ultimate Punch. We'll just do a quick roll call since we're on it, and I can just bring them up. Cole,
Yeah,
Cole, Aaron,
Mac, MMA guy in Brazil, JC,
iFlow
iFlow
man.
Man,
We got to give a shout
Big
out to
Baxter, Cool Moves, Dre Miley,
Dre Marley's doing big things. Let me
DJ
tell you,
Murder
man.
City,
he's
Brett
hoping to do
Cagle,
big things. Poor guy.
Patriot Gana,
He needs to fight.
Aaron,
Rizzle.
Rizzy, Alex as well. I know he just started as a new account. Some of the West Coast homies are oh
Bro, did you say Rizzy?
Yeah,
Rizzy.
Yeah.
Who else did I have? Oh, Thiz up in Northern California. Eddie Law,
yeah.
Gordon Mamin, MMA Locker Room, Any Action Sports. Man, those are a lot of the homies right there. So again, we can keep on going on, but yeah, we gotta set aside for them. But rolling into what do you guys want to do? The best submission? What were you guys thinking?
Yeah, we can do
Yeah,
submission.
Okay.
yeah.
I had on the master list, I had the Izzy versus DDP.
Mm.
I had Patty Pimblett versus Bobby Green. Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier at UFC 302. Khamzat Chimaev submits Robert Whitaker and fucking basically almost breaks his jaw. Kevin Holland breaks Michael's is it Mikkel? His arm,
Yeah,
remember?
Mikhail. Yeah.
Elbow.
Yeah. He did not tap on that motherfucker. So those are the names I have on my list. If you guys have any more, that maybe where I'm missing.
RDR versus GM3.
Oh yeah.
Those are like two
That was
snakes battling it out and
there
just
were
winding together. And somehow
Yeah.
they ended up on the bottom with RDR's arms around GM3's neck.
It's
You
funny.
know,
We're just talking about GM3's comeback.
Yeah. Oh, I love high level jujitsu. You know, it winds me up. People, you know, when the casuals are all like, "Oh no, man, that's boring." It's like it's not boring. If you know what you're looking at and you
Right.
know what you're seeing, it's so good. But
It's like
my
a
pick,
chess match. It's a chess. It's a chess. It's
exactly.
especially when you see one guy go here and the other guy goes there and the other guy goes there. It's like a counter each time that they're doing something. That's so
Yeah,
intriguing to me
well,
too.
the
yeah,
thing too with BJJ is that different teachers have different aims for doing things.
yeah,
So, like if you're from the 10th Planet variety, you're really seeking into submissions, right? You're trying to seek out submissions. Whereas if you're from the Gracie tutorial or tutelage, then you're really seeking position at
Mhm.
times. And you can see it at play and how both BJJs
Let me
are put into
let me ask you
practice.
this: out of all these guys, if you were to take one submission specialist with you on the island to be your guy, because fucking he's fighting off fucking sharks and fucking lions and shit, who would you take? Patty Pimblett, GM3, Islam, DDP.
I'm going to be biased and say Paddy. Right?
Ooh.
I think a lot of people underrate Paddy's jiu-jitsu. Like he is strong as you know what I'm saying. Like it's a lot stronger than people realize. I mean that's why I'm going to say my submission award is Paddy versus Bobby King Green because the way he wrapped him up, the way he put him to sleep and snapped his arm. You know there was people. I watched that live. I was literally like maybe 10 feet away,
Oh, you went to
and
that?
people.
You went there?
Yeah, I was there. I was there for that one. And well, that was in my home city. That was Manchester. You know what I'm saying? And there was people next to me that was like, "Oh no, they're going to the ground," and I was like, "He's out. He doesn't even realize it, but he's out."
Oh, he
And
was
it was
out
just,
too. He was
yeah,
out. He was
he
out.
was leaping, and it was just like it was unreal how quick he was with it, how tight the lock was with the
Well, come
triangle.
on.
He had
It's like having a white belt compete against a purple belt. You know, like
Yeah,
just a
yeah,
step, a level above a blue belt, you know, because a white belt can hang with a blue belt for a good 6 minutes, you know, if they really wanted to. But
yeah,
when you're against like a purple belt, you know, and I'm not even talking about like a brown belt or a black belt who can just in seconds fuck you
yeah,
up, right? That's the kind of shit that was. You know, Patty is a black belt in BJJ, and Bobby Green doesn't fucking barely can just spell BJJ. You know, that's not in his forte. He doesn't go to the gym and train Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You know, he hasn't spent, 100 hours on the mat or some shit like that. So it was like, yeah, if this shit gets on the mat, which everybody knew it was going to, right? Because why the fuck would Patty want to stand and bang with Bobby Green? It was a done deal. So to me, it was like, yeah, bro. Patty's submission over Jordan Levitt was more
yeah.
impressive
No, that was good.
to me.
That was good.
That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
more impressive. If we're gonna pick Patty,
Who do you
that
got?
what
Who do you got, Vaughn?
me? Oh, Khamzat, bro.
That was
The power fuck. I mean, how the thing is with submissions, you rarely get injuries from rear naked chokes,
like a crank choke, right? It
headlocks,
was like a crank
things
choke.
like that. It was like a front choke, head choke,
Yeah.
sort of a crank, but you rarely get serious injuries from those. You get them more from arm bars and knee bars, things like that. The fact that he busted like 3 or 4 of his teeth in and broke his jaw in several places,
The pressure.
Yeah.
it's just nightmarish,
Crazy.
that a man can just do that to another person. And that's the kind of shit that I think you really expect in barbaric, MMA fights, right? It's like, oh man, fuck. Like that's the kind of injury and that you would expect to be like, oh, dude, that's catastrophic. That could
Yeah.
end someone's career.
Yeah. Well,
He's
when I
gonna fight
saw
again.
Rob tapping, you immediately knew something's wrong.
Someone was
Something
fucking wrong,
That might have
really
been
wrong.
the fastest tap out ever.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
That
yeah,
that it just there's just so many different things that tells you his grip. Khamzat's grip, technique. Um, and we see him fuck around with Kadyrov and Kadyrov's kids, right? And oh, you got me, and fat fuck Kadyrov on top of him, and they're taking photo ops, right? But the guy's a fucking killer.
yeah.
Khamzat is a killer, and that shit was straight fucking special forces, Chechen army shit.
Yeah, that was crazy. I think just looking at some of these, I see Chimaev as the winner. Robert, yeah, on UFC, it has Chimaev as the winner on there. I was going with the Islam tap versus Dustin Poirier, but that I've never seen that before. I have to say that elevates it. I've never seen someone just be able to manhandle you like that and it's almost like maybe an alligator trying to bite you and not being able to let go of all that pressure that they have within your jaw. That
Yeah.
should that's
I mean, just to bust
scary.
bone
It
like
is
that with a
it is
grip
kind of
that's
scary.
fucking
I mean, you
nuts.
know what imagine makes you think like a Marvel movie where someone just fucking like breaks
Yeah.
you out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
just
yeah.
as scary.
Some Mortal Kombat shit.
Yeah,
No,
yeah. It was like
and
fatality.
it elevates Khamzat's submission game to a whole new level because not only now are people not only scared of him getting under your neck,
Yeah,
people are going to be scared of him even around your
Force,
face.
the actual
yeah.
force of it.
Just even getting around and having a neck crank, or even if your chin is down, people
Well,
are
this
going
is
to
it.
tap a lot
Usually,
faster than fucking
yeah.
having their jaws dislocated. At least in their mind, they can at least visualize that.
Because usually you're thinking of tucking the neck when that
Yeah,
arm comes
you're
out.
safe. You're
Yeah.
safe. You
And
tuck
now
your
you're
neck, you're safe.
thinking, oh, no, just take it. Just take the
Yeah,
neck.
exactly. Take the neck,
Well,
please.
imagine imagine someone you squeezing you so hard in your forehead like that it breaks your nose or something.
Oh,
I
man.
mean, a
Eyes.
lot of different things, cheekbones.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
All
these are
right.
difficult bones to break with pressure like that.
All right.
But
I'm
I
so
gonna
is the
also
jaw.
think there's one final thing. I think he was the first to submit Whitaker as well. I don't think
right,
Whitaker had been submitted.
right.
So that was
Dominating.
another.
Yeah. All right. I'm going with the Chimaev choke as well. Going with
Yeah.
the choke. All right. What was it? What was the next one we had on our list?
Debut fighter of the year.
Debut.
Debut. Okay. So I know Vaughn and I talked about this. I had on the list Kayla Harrison, Oliver. What's his first name?
Vinicius,
Vinicius Oliver, Renier.
Renier de Renier, whatever his name is,
Right.
RDR.
I had MVP on here, but I know we talked about it. He lost that first one. Gene Silva
Yeah,
and
fight nerds, man.
Asakura. He lost his first one too, though.
And Carlos Prates, bro.
And
That's my guy.
Carlos Prates.
That's my guy. And honestly, if we were to even pick a
Hmm.
fight team of the year, for me it would be Fighting Nerds.
Right.
Because of the two, debutantes, two of these are Fighting Nerds, right? Gene Silver and Carlos Prates. And for me, Carlos Prates is the one that took it because of his impressive 2024 resume. He fought 4 times, had all 4 wins by knockout. And I think out of all the debutantes, he's the one that's just sort of has that aura of being the lion, the apex predator of all these other debut fighters. Kayla Harrison, I think we knew she was going to beat Holly Holm. Holly Holm was sort of the sacrificial lamb,
Yeah.
at
On the
40
back.
some odd years.
Yeah, on the
40 some
back
odd years
nine,
old,
like she's past the 18th hole.
with like really zero, she's a blue belt in BJJ, compared to an Olympian wrestler.
Yeah. They're
that
giving
that
her a
was
layup. They're giving Kayla. They want to build her up.
they wanted her to win. Gene Silva, he gets real close.
Yeah,
second to me, the damage that he's done with Drew Dober and his style and his bravado, is really exciting.
He's from Fighting Nerds too, right?
He's Fighting Nerds too.
Yeah, their whole camp, bro. Their whole camp is fucking crazy.
Camp is vicious, bro.
Yeah, Ronaldo, Rajalo, Gene Silva, Carlos Prates. So yeah.
There's even Bruno Brazil, I think, is in Fighting Nerds.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like we're all. Who do you got? You got Carlos too, Red Wolf?
100%. 100%. 4 fights, 4 KOs, and decent opposition as well.
Lee Kinsley and drinking and shit with the homies after.
Having a great time.
Hashtag cigarette mafia. You know what I mean? Like he does all the drinking, he does all the and he's just like so chill. He's one of us. He's literally one of us. You know what I'm saying? And he's related. You know what I mean? It's so related.
Like when he was like a teenager in Brazil, like I don't know if he was slanging on the corner or what he was, but he was like smoking cigarettes at a very young age. So he was hood over there in Brazil and shit. That shit ain't safe in Brazil. Go to certain parts, it's very dangerous. So I'm glad he changed his life around. And I thought to myself too, what makes him so impressive is he was not ranked to start the year. He grabbed every opportunity that they put in front of him and he ran with it.
100%.
Dominated. And because winning is everything in sports. And for the fact and the way you win pushes you up. And so he became undeniable into getting into the ranking, into having this conversation. 4 fights, 4-0, unranked, now ranked. I mean, now people are talking about he's going to be the next, he's going to be Bilal or, it's interested to see what he's going to do this year because that division is super stacked. Ian Gary's of the world. You got the JDMs of the world. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with Michael Morales as well. And he's part of the new guard where this old guard is going to come out with the Usmans and the Gilbert Burns and the Kobe Covingtons. Neil Magny's already out as well. So yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, I think we're all with Carlos Prates on this one.
Yeah, he's got a number next to his name, 13, lucky number 13, which fits him like a glove because he's a black cat.
Someone had dropped it, that they're talking about him maybe fighting in Brazil in May. So,
bro, he's gonna have a main. He's gonna be headlining. A fight night.
He also offered to fight Shavkat when Bilal was injured, but he was injured, and this was a little like short notice. And the UFC had to tell him no. You know what I mean? Like he's not going to. I mean, there's even talk of him fighting Leon in London, and I don't think that will be the fight to make. But he's 100% getting a main event.
He's getting a main event somewhere.
All right. What was the last category we had, guys?
We did mic drop, didn't we?
Did mic drop? Yeah.
So we've got robbery and fraud.
Robbery and fraud.
Okay. The robbery one. I have Sean versus DDP.
Hmm.
A lot of people thought Sean won. I wrote down the Jared Gordon versus Nasrat, Volkov versus Gan, Renat versus Leal, and then Gordon. Who did Gordon fight, Vaughn?
Uh, I don't know. I
But you
didn't
know what I'm
even
talking
have
about.
that on my list.
I thought you had tagged him this morning or something.
Um, I don't think so.
All
I
right.
had Volkan to
Okay.
JJ Aldrich versus Sabina Mazo,
It
Muslim
was Leo.
Salikov versus Ponzinibbio.
I think you had Rinat versus Leo as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Renat versus Leo as well. It was in there.
Yeah.
Who in Red Rough?
For
Did you?
me, Volkov versus Gan, bro. I think Volkan got robbed. He won that. Um, yeah, that shit was fucked up. But there were some close ones, you know. But for sure, I thought Volkov beat Cyril Gan.
What did you have, Red?
Yeah. So I was thinking Renat versus Leo because I remember when that happened, like it was one of those moments where I'm watching it and I just started laughing. Like I couldn't even get mad anymore. You know,
Yeah,
it was just one of those, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like I just
Isn't that the one in China?
I think it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
but
early in the morning.
still pretty early
yeah.
because
It was
yeah, it
fucked up.
was because I was eating my breakfast because we had it on in the morning for once, which was amazing. But I was just like, I just started laughing. I was just like, no, get out of here, fuck off. But for me, I think maybe recency bias, but Gang versus Volkov. Like even Gang knew because he walked out. He
Yeah,
walked out the
and then
Did
cage.
Gan was like,
did he
You know what
did?
I'm saying? He was
Yeah,
yeah.
like,
he did
no,
walk
no,
out.
no. When Dana White as well came up with Volkov,
And I
he
think
said
even
the
in
same
the
thing.
interviews, he said so. He said he didn't think he deserved to win, and that his
Yeah,
foot was broke in the first round. Yeah,
he was dominating. The closest round in that fight was the second, but
yeah.
even that, if you watch it again, it was like Volkov won. Volkov won the third. He dominated the first. It was one of the biggest robberies like this year, 100%. Like it was just unreal.
That
Um,
that we're not 1-2 was a robbery. Like
yeah,
that's fucking
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah,
And
Leo got that,
yeah, and I think the one
and that was a short notice too, right, for Leo.
yeah.
so the Sean versus DDP one is interesting just due to the fact that a lot of people thought Sean won.
It
I
was a
wasn't on
split
that
decision.
I wasn't on that train. I thought Sean didn't lose. I thought Sean did lose and DDP did enough to win it. But there was a
Mhm.
lot of controversy. I'm glad they're running back. Who did you guys have winning, DDP or Sean?
I
It,
think I had DDP winning
yeah,
that fight. I think it was close, but I think the judges had it right. But
yeah.
yeah, I think I wanted to see it run back again. I needed a more definitive win for somebody.
Would you?
Yeah, I think that's it. It was close. It was one of those ones where you're probably gonna have to watch it multiple times. It was a close fight.
So it wouldn't have been
Um,
bad if it was a draw. It would have been like it was no one.
I would have been happy. I would have been happy with a draw. You
And
know
I
what I
think you
mean?
know what? That's a good thing for us to know next time. Like the criteria is like, no, dude, we know this dude fucking did it. Like it wasn't close. You
Yeah,
Yeah.
There was a
That's what I mean.
robbery. Someone did
No,
get robbed.
yeah. Gan and Volkov was not close.
I thought
no,
Volkov the same
that
thing.
was crazy.
I thought the exact same thing. And I think what solidifies it with me, what you guys said, Cyril Gahn walked out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He kind
Yeah.
of knew, and it's
He knew
interesting.
himself it was
He
over.
knew, and it's interesting. It was like when you got the two guys and they line up together, and the one person's kind of like head is down, and then they get, oh
Yeah.
no, go, I won. It was kind of one of those
Yeah,
things, and he didn't even have that reaction. He's like, all right,
I think there's a
yeah.
clip as well of Rogan in the background, and even he's
what?
like he's just what, you know what I mean? Like no way, you know. So I mean, and also it was that controversial judge. I don't know her name, but
Mm.
she was involved in it.
Adelaide Bird.
Yeah, that's the one. So that that caused a lot of
There's a handful of them. Adelaide
yeah,
Bird, Sal D'Amato.
All right.
yeah.
Well, I think let's do one more category and we'll end it. I don't have
The biggest fraud.
because for what's the other? Were there any other ones we wanted to? Is that the one we want to do?
Battle of the
Uh,
year.
yeah, I've got fraud on my list and Battle of the Year. If you
If we were to do okay, let's just we'll do one. So if we were to pick one, breakout, a most improved fighter of the year, fraud, or what was
Okay,
the
so
other?
I'm gonna be honest. I've wrote notes for fraud, but I
Okay.
haven't wrote the other ones.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Um,
same here. I got fraud and battle of the year
okay,
or
so
fight of the
whichever.
year.
So you have notes
Let's
for
do
which one?
fraud. Let's
Let's
do
do fraud.
fraud.
Okay. So fraud basically is like you got exposed, right?
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. So on my master list, I have Colby Covington. I have Johnny Walker.
Oh,
I have
okay.
Wang.
Wang Kong.
Yep.
Mm.
I have Vitor Petrino. And I did write BSD, but I think I'm a little like that.
And I have Robelis the Spain as well.
I actually I wrote down Robelis too.
Yeah, that's that's
Uh,
that's the one I've got.
for me, it's Vitor Petrino. He's got to be the biggest waste of UFC space and disappointment in the world. I mean, his fight IQ's got to be absolute zero. Where he's winning and he's what lost his last two in a row, and the last one against Dustin Jacoby where he's beating him, but he's having this friendship fest when his career's on the line, and he lets himself get knocked the fuck out by Dustin Jacoby in the fucking third round. You
That
know
was a,
what? Fuck Vitor Petrino.
that was UFC what 310, right?
Yeah,
The
it was a
last
long
fight,
distance.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean that Dustin Petrino. He also got submitted by Smith, I believe, in his previous
Yeah,
fight.
Anthony Smith.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so it's kind of
Yeah,
like
he's
That's not a
done, bro. He
look.
got KO'd and submitted.
Yeah,
He's got what does he got to offer?
that's not a good
He's
look.
got a half a round. And that he doesn't even have the fight IQ to know how to utilize that
yeah,
half a round.
yeah.
So if you were to how would I pick one to give away to your ex? Like, oh, you take him. I'm gonna set you up. I'm gonna set you up, homegirl.
Oh, that's a different
Would you
story,
give your
bro.
ex Vitor or would you give your ex
That's
Kobe?
She would probably love Vitor.
yeah. I
She
mean,
wouldn't care about. She wouldn't care
Vitor
about
looks
his
like a
record.
fighter. He's got he's ripped like fuck. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But he doesn't. He doesn't fight
he
like a fighter.
he doesn't
Okay,
have
so
the fight
okay,
IQ.
but just okay, I worded it wrong, but Kobe or Vitor? You're taking Vitor.
Oh, Vitor all day long, bro.
Okay.
Colby at least has had some wins against some notable opponents. He's hung in there and he's fought with a broken jaw. He's done some things that, even though he plays the
You
heel
have
and
more respect for
it's
him.
easy to fucking hate him. I have way more respect for him and his fight game
It's the
than I
respect
do for
level.
Vitor.
So maybe that's one of the criteria too for this category. It's where's your respect level at? From a 1 to 10, where is your respect level for a Vitor?
Zero. Zero.
Damn. How about
Zero.
you? Well, Red Wolf, are you going Vitor too, or who are you going?
So I had two possible candidates. And I respect both of them, my candidates. But there was Wang Kong. Like I said, I think I mentioned it before. She was being touted as um, the next title challenger. She was going to beat Shevchenko. She was going to do all this, and she got exposed badly. But I think my personal pick is Despain because he was this big Cuban Ramiro and Ngannou hybrid that was going to knock everybody out. That was going to be the next big thing. That was
You
going
the
to
one with
just
the blonde hair?
Yeah.
Blonde, he had
And
blonde
Waldo,
hair and
Waldo,
Yeah.
Waldo Costas, out of all fucking people, just
exactly,
just expose his
exactly.
ass.
And if Waldo Cortez wrestle fucks you, you know you're doing something wrong. Do you know what I mean? And I think he lost two on the bounce. I mean, yeah, he just got a very, very quick KO in karate combat, but in the UFC, he's a Taekwondo champion, but Taekwondo doesn't work unless you mix some martial arts and other mixed martial arts in there.
Exactly.
So yeah, for me, it was Despain because he was just hyped as this next killer, and it just didn't work. It just did not materialize at all.
I had Mike Malott, but he came back and he kind of got another
Yeah.
win. I had Grant Dawson too, but he came back and got another win. Those are guys that people were really hyping up as well and had some really good victories under their belt. I put Steve Ursay too on there. He lost the past two.
Come on, give the guy a break, bro. He was thrust. With the thing with Steve
Crazy because he
said
went
is
he
that,
went toe to toe with Pantoja. He went toe to toe.
bro, he
Yeah.
went toe to toe with Pantoja. I mean, they're putting him in like main event,
Yeah.
short notice
And,
fights,
and,
and then
and
title
he had no.
fights.
I don't think he had any business being in the title fight. You
He
know what
had
I'm
no
saying?
business
They
being.
tried
Yeah,
to,
exactly.
and I think that bit just speaks on the division. They're just searching and seeking someone to try to give to Pantoja that he hasn't beat yet. So I think I have to put that into the mix as well. But based off what the Kong thing, I think is super true. I like to see what she does in the next fight because she could bounce back. But I think part of the criteria we should add is like, have you lost your last two fights, and have they been dominating fashion for your opponent who basically made you look like trash? And respect level as well, you kind of start losing for respect from people. It's like you get so much hype, like, oh, all right, well, at least make it a draw, a decision.
And I think you're right too. One fight doesn't necessarily make you the fraud.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
that's why I put Despaying over Wang Kong. She's only lost one. She could come back next year and
Wong
dominate.
Kong's she's
You know
on
what I'm
a
saying?
she's on a thin rope
But
though.
she did get a little, yeah, she
Yeah,
did get a little exposed though. I have to
She's
admit,
on a
she
thin rope
did get
though.
a little
yeah.
bit exposed. She
And
really,
maybe she got too confident in herself. She believed the hype in herself. She did the whole
And got
Joker
caught.
stuff,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
she got caught.
exactly.
What happens with a
But
lot of these younger fighters is that they hype them up, but then after the first round, they get exposed in that second, third by veterans. Neil Magny did it to Mike Malott. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
That was a
yeah,
perfect example of being exposed, but then can the fighter bounce back? And I think if
yeah.
the fighter bounce back, maybe I need to reevaluate how we put this category. So I'm actually just gonna go with both of your Vitor and Robolis.
Yeah. Robillers.
Robellis,
I
yeah.
agree with both of those. I think they both got exposed. Both of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, they're
Both
both
And
need,
frauds.
they
full
both need the
disclosure, I
award.
don't I don't usually like the term fraud check because, like you say, I've seen so many people get beat by veterans, which is understandable, and then learn from that and come back from that. But yeah, so but yeah, Despain isn't gonna improve his ground game anytime soon. I don't think. Do you know what I'm
It's too
saying?
late for him. That takes
Yeah,
years.
yeah,
It takes
exactly,
years. That's an
exactly.
art that takes years to really start understanding.
It's too late.
He's gone. Yeah, stay at Karate Combat. He'll do great at Karate Combat. There's very, very
Definitely.
little grappling involved. You know what I'm
Very
saying?
little
So,
money.
well,
All right,
there's
listen.
that as well.
All right. Was the last one that we said?
Battle of the year, fight of the year.
Yeah, but he didn't have the notes on it though.
No, he had the
I,
note on that.
I think I'm gonna go with. I think I know who I'm gonna go with.
Okay. All right. I'll go off the list I have is Moreno versus Rival, Zell Huber versus Ribovics, Max versus Justin Gaethje, Pantoja versus Ursig, Alex Bieta versus Roundtree, and I had also added Yan versus Figueroa and Orabai versus Rebecca.
And Derber versus Silva.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to me, that took it over Zellhuber over Vivovix.
The Drew
Because, yeah, the Dober versus Silva. Because one, it was a banger of a fight. The same as the Zellhuber Ribovics, right? They both had that same quality. But then you had the Drew Dober nasty cut, and Gene Silva broke both of his hands. So both his hands had like both fingers on both hands were fractured like completely through and through. When he showed his x-rays of his hands, you could just see the cracks on both of them. And so that, to fight and to win against, basically punching a concrete block of a head for 3 rounds to the point that you broke your own hands, is a fucking.
And if any of you boys I'm sure you boys have broken knuckle a few times, or if any of you know how that feels. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah, the calcium buildup.
That's imaginable to me.
No, and that was more too, right? Because you could break the knuckle or the bones over here, but there's another thing breaking the fingers over and this part, and this is where he broke him in the initial part. So as he's punching, this portion of it.
What are you leaning towards, Red Wolf?
So my main two were, and I'm gonna butcher these names, so I apologize. But Zellenhuber and Ribovic, and Orlby and Rebecca. I remember I was on my feet. I was on my feet for Orlby, and it was just they left it all in there. By the end of that third bell, they were just like gone. It reminded me a bit of Lawler and Condit. You know, when they did the on top of the cage, they just looked gone.
Right.
So it's hard for me to choose between those two, but because we had the Orabai injury as well.
Yeah.
And he was fighting through that big swollen, face. So I'll probably go Orabai and Rebecca because I think a lot of people expected Orabai to just fly through Rebecca as well. And they both put on an absolute
power.
And Rebecca won that fight, right?
Rebecca won that fight.
Rebecca won that.
Yeah, I believe
Rebecca won.
But I do remember because I remember Orabai just kept fighting back. I was like, shit. Yeah. Like he keeps like fucking. He's almost like he's getting back.
But Orobeki got stuck like in the process mode. You could see that because Orobeki's game is control. You know, it really isn't submission or punishment. It's just that body lock control or ground control and just eating up that clock and winning a decision. So when Rebecca was able to get past the control and start dealing punishment in that second round, Orabai almost like got stuck in the process. Yeah. Like, what the fuck do I do? Yeah, exactly. Scrambled him a bit.
Yeah, but he they were both fighting. I think really all of these, I think the top three just having the conversation would be Zell Hooper versus Ribovics, the Drew Lober versus Gene Silva, and this Orabai here. If I were to pick one, I think the top two, I think because of the injuries, they kind of make it a better, more of a battle because those Drew Lober and Orabai both had to fight through that. I don't know. That's a tough one for me.
It's a tough one. It is a tough one.
Gotta pick one.
You're the deciding vote.
And we'll be back after these few messages.
I picked the Orabai one. I think just because it's more, I can remember it more.
Which one's that one?
Orabai one. But I think it was because it was later in the year where the Drew Lober one and G Silva would maybe been like in the summer.
I think so.
I think it's just because of memory, though.
Yeah,
they're right there. They're both right there though with each other. They're both fucking just classics.
A lot of people are saying. We're not discrediting Max and Gaethje. A lot of people were saying that wasn't a great fight. I think it was.
I thought it was a good fight. I thought it was really good.
It really was. I mean, Gaethje did drop Max. It wasn't counted as a knockdown, but he did knock him down. But Max was just in a flow state with that, and I think
it lived up to the BMF. Like I think you guys sold me on that fact. It lived up to the BMF.
Yeah,
the brawl.
Yeah,
the brawl.
100%. 100%.
They left it all in the line.
Yeah.
Last second.
That's going to be one of them that people watch along with Lawler and McDonald. You know what I mean? Or Connor and Alvarez. You know, they'll be watching.
It was like the Forrest Griffin, what the Ultimate Fighter fight.
Stephen Bonner. Stephen Bonner and Forrest Griffin.
If we were to get an award, that'd be the two guys.
Yeah.
That's on the statue. Like, hey, this is what you model that off after. So yeah.
No, to me, and it also like signifies what the UFC is, right? It entails what the whole totality of the UFC is. You know, Max versus fucking Gaethje, and really what a BMF fight should look like.
Right.
Like that. If you're gonna have a belt and an event, that's what it should look like.
It reminds you of what Nate Diaz, how his fights would end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, look, Nate Diaz nearly knocked out Leon. He was getting dominated the whole.
I went back and I watched that fight. That's the thing about Nate. Nate always had a chance till the fucking end, and he would never fucking quit.
Never gave it.
You know what? You know what? You know what fucked up Nate Diaz? His scar tissues.
Yeah, 100%.
His scar tissue. The fact that he opens up, and that does interfere with his vision. It interferes with the fact that the judge is going to want to, or the ref is going to want to stop the fight.